Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us.
The only deliverance the other nations are going to get is deliverance right into slavery. They're going to be our slaves, thus saith the Lord.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us. Why? God, why?
Jeremiah 30:16 tells you every last one of the other nations, which are non-Israelites, are going into captivity. They're going into slavery underneath the Israelites when the Israelites go back into rulership. When is the Israelites going to go back into rulership? When the Lord comes. That's what he's coming to do. He's coming to set up the Israelites in rulership, beginning with King David. And when I say rulership, meaning the planet Earth, we're going to be ruling the planet Earth in righteousness. After he puts down the wicked. Who's the wicked? The Edomites, which are in power right now. Who are the Edomites? The so-called white man.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us. Why? God, why?
Praise the Lord, for he is greatly to be feared. He removed the wicked and put us righteous in power. To victory and the dawn of a new era.
And when I say rulership, meaning the planet Earth, we're going to be ruling the planet Earth in righteousness. After he puts down the wicked. Who's the wicked? The Edomites, which are in power right now. Who are the Edomites? The so-called white man.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord Yahweh. Praise ye the Lord.
Beginning with those top banking families, which happen to be so-called white people. We're talking about the Rothschilds, Rockefellers. We're talking about the DuPonts. We're talking about the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, and families like that. Okay, so when Yahushua comes back, he's going to take away their rulership, which they're enjoying right now. That's the long and short of it, of this ministry, man.
Pace, James. I need 200 pounds by sunset.
Yes, sir. I'm on it, master.
Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
Praise the Lord, for he is greatly to be feared. He removed the wicked and put us righteous in power.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who may have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. And going into another morning news and prophecy. All right. And going into being circumspect in these times. And as we keep saying over and over again, the spirit has us, to constantly repeat that we're going into different times. Okay, we're going into another phase concerning prophecy. Okay, the normalcy that we've gotten used to, well, things, all right, are going to change. And see, we got to be in the spirit, and that's why we got to be in the loop, knowing what's going on. Matter of fact, Let me get this. Um, this is Sirach 5 and 15. It says, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small." Okay, so we in a time to where we have to be tuned in to what's going on. All right, we have to be more on our watch. Okay, we have to have an understanding of what's going on around us, man. Like we always go into, we need to know what's going on, in our local area, in our state, in the nation, and internationally, man. Because it's all connected. And the Lord has given us, a network, a body, of prophets, of watchmen, to stay within the loop of these things. And we all feed off each other. Okay, so no one is ignorant. The Lord has, these different men covering different segments of what's going on. So we see the whole picture. Okay, and we see the picture from different angles. All right. Because we all, in different situations, in different states and different circumstances. So certain things affect, certain of the church, more than others. And we have to be circumspect and know what's going on. What's the point, of being a prophet, okay, understanding what's to come, all right, and not making the adjustments, okay, before it comes. All right. And if brother can get that, Sirach 18 and 20. And let's get I believe that's is it Proverbs 23. Okay. Proverbs 23. And let's see. Might be 22, so like you. Proverbs 22 and 3. I get it since I'm there. All right. Or if a brother could put that in Sirach 18 and 20. Power shot. Okay. Well, let's get this. I got a few videos, man. A lot going on. All right. November, can come in with a bang. All right. And this is why, we have to be circumspect and know, all right, what's going on around us, man. This is Proverbs 22 and 3. It says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished, man." Okay. And we've been given this wisdom, all right, to be prudent. You go into someone that's prudent. Okay, there's someone, all right, that looks into things and comes up with a strategy based off the information that they got. All right. Let's see if I can look it up in a while. Prudent definition. Going to this word prudent. Yep. So let's go to this definition real quick. Let's go to the word prudent. All right. So you go into the word prudent. It says act, okay, acting wise or showing care, okay, or thought for the future. You see? So here it is. We've been given privy information, all right, concerning the future. Okay, according to prophecy, man, we know where it's gonna get. See, people are being optimistic and they speculate. No, we know what it's gonna be. Okay, and understanding the times that we are in, okay, we should move, okay, with prudence, all right, and it says wise, all right, judicious. Let's go to the word judicious, okay. So you get this word judicious is all right. It says having, showing, all right, or done with good judgment or sense, okay, having, showing, or done with good judgment or sense, man, and we, been groomed up in this wisdom, okay, to apply wisdom real time in the circumstances that we're coming to, man. Okay, we're getting to the part to where hey, we're gonna have to apply wisdom and maneuver in wisdom, understanding what we know. Okay, so we have, this info, all right, this network of, wise counsel, beginning with the apostles and elders, okay, or GMS, okay, on down to the sincere brothers, that's teaching his word in truth and sincerity. So we have, this network of wise counsel, you know, and we should be moving, okay, with prudence, with wisdom, okay, because we know where these things are going to hit, okay. Now I got a few videos I want to get into. All right, I get that. Ciroc later on, Baba Shah. So I got it's a few things I want to get into, and dealing with the elephant in the room. Okay, you have, all right, the talks of no SNAP benefits. Okay, um, for the month of November. Okay, and the timing of it, is spiritual on the right hand side. All right, because this is the time of this is the time of year what we will call the end gathering. When you will get your last harvest for the year. Because when the scriptures say, "What the vintage shall fail," well, the vintage or goes back to grapes. So the grapes will be one of the last things harvested. Okay, back in Israel. You know, you'll get your grapes. You have your batch. Wine for that year. Going through the winter. And a few other crops as well. The olives. You have your oil, okay, and particular things. So if that vintage failed, you see, which that crop didn't harvest, hey, it was gonna be a long winter, and we'll see, man. Our brothers out of the Lord allows this continue, man, and it just spirals, okay, into torments, okay, for this wicked society, man. And 2/3, they've constantly been warned. All right. And now they're in a position where they have to depend on the wicked to do right by them, which we know that's not going to be the case. Okay. And what we're seeing amongst our people is how entitled they are. And we're about to see the monster that Esau has created with this system dealing with our people, man. Okay. Esau created these monsters, man. You see? And these people, if these things, if this continues on where these benefits are not, all right, coming in, all right, you can expect, these people to wild out and throw tantrums, man. Okay. And this is why we have to see what's happening and begin to move, strategically, man, all through the spirit on your how about Shemal Shah. So I'm gonna play this, all right, and this is the mindset of our people, going into these times. So we're able to peep what Jake is on, and we should make the adjustments and move accordingly, man. So let's play this.
I'm gonna tell y'all straight up like this. I just got that text that the link is definitely cut the fuck off for November. Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for shit. Trump, if you want motherfuckers start looting, it's gonna happen. Before my kids go broke in this bitch like Jock, I'm gonna be stealing like it ain't no tomorrow. I am going to go in that store, get everything I get regularly. I'm going to bag my shit up, swipe my link card. As soon as that bitch say ain't no pending balance on there, I'm going to walk the fuck out. And I'm gonna have one of my cousins with me that'll punch your ass so hard you gonna think a Jet 2 holiday hit your bitch ass if you think I ain't finna walk out that store. And please follow me to that motherfucking car if you feeling motherfucking froggy, bitch. You ain't gonna make it back to your motherfucking position at that fucking Walmart store. I'm telling you. You wanna take some link? Like I don't be taking shit already. Watch this. It's okay.
All I know is if they stop my food stamps, me and my man will be at the grocery store walking out with two big ass carts. And ain't bet nobody better do nothing because my man coming hard behind me and it only take him one time to punch your ass.
Oh yeah, go ahead, do what you gotta do
playing
with
with us, and I'm damn sure not playing with the motherfucking government. Y'all talking about we ain't getting no food stamps next month? When y'all see me in the motherfucking stores, y'all better know I'm not there to play. I don't want to talk. I don't want to conversate. None of that. I'm not there for that. I'm there to stand on business. Okay, me and moms, we gonna eat and we riding out at dawn. Okay.
This is gonna ruffle some feathers, but I really don't give a shit. We don't want to hear it on this app. You have multiple baby fathers or the same baby father, and you decided to keep having baby. We don't want to hear it. Okay? We don't want to hear it. We just don't. We don't. You want us to feel sorry for you? Feel sorry for yourself. You kept laying down with the same man that already didn't help you with the kids that were already on earth living. You said, let's make another one. Let's do it again. What a fucking kashukta. Are you kidding me? Even worse, you had a baby by a man that you already knew had kids that he didn't take care of. And you thought that you were the exception. Listen here, Paramore. You are not the exception. What a kashukta. What is wrong with you guys, if I may ask myself? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with, like, these are the people that are in charge of the kids.
I don't know why y'all on here saying that he finna treat us like we slaves. Who in the fuck is y'all talking about when y'all say we? I'm not finna get treated like shit, but the black queen I am. I'm not finna be picking no cotton. Ain't nobody finna be whipping me with no whip. I done been fucked the motherfucker up. And ain't nobody finna be taking my kids and selling their ass for 25 cents either. No disrespect to my ancestors who fought for us. But if y'all think I'm finna let anybody treat me like a slave, or if y'all really thinking in y'all head, we about to let people treat us like a slave in 2025, 2026, or for the rest of our motherfucking lives, y'all lasted on that powder. Y'all really be giving that man in that office a little bit too much power. Like I keep saying, they work for us. If you want to get treated like a slave, you can go to fuck ahead. Ain't nobody gonna make me do shit I don't want to do at all.
Everybody going around saying that motherfuckers ain't getting food stamp next month. Mind you, bitch, I'm on food stamp. Let me tell you this right now. Donald J. Trump, I don't know what the fuck you got going on in that fucking house of yours, but bitch, you better fix it. Just because your ass going through some shit don't mean you gotta take it out on everybody else, bitch. Fix this shit right now. Let me not get my food stamps. Let me not get my food stamps. I'm going back to stealing. I don't care. If you leave your car unlocked in the middle of the night, lock it, bitch. Because if I don't get no food stamps, best believe me and mine's gonna eat regardless.
So as you can see, all right, the mind, of Jake, and where they hit, and this just a representation of how millions of our people think, and I don't know what power, Jake think they have, all right, just like the brother Beyond Yashala said, they're falling right into the trap, okay? They want you niggas to wild out, okay? And they're gonna let you, they're gonna get, for a while, they're gonna let these niggas wild out, loot, take shit, and they just gonna get footage, and they're going to look justified, okay, in rolling on the tribes, man, because the tribes are the first priority of Esau Edom. That's the first priority. All right. And he knows, all right, that he has turned you people into animals, man. Okay, that are dependent on him. So when this man snatches away, okay, these benefits, which our people have become, extremely comfortable, all right, on these benefits, okay, that our people have been conditioned, to only get handouts, and they become entitled and proud, okay? And once again, this is the monster Esau has created. Now he's finna get this monster, all right, to wild out, all right, so he can wild out, okay? And just like the brother said, they falling right, okay, into the snare, all right? That's why even Yahweh Shai, let's go here, Yahweh Shai putting us on game. Now before we get that, let's get this. This is Isaiah 2:11. Because you see how people have a very proud look on them, like nothing is going to stop them from eating, like they're above judgment. Saying what they gonna do and they gonna do this. And Esau, he's taking all this in, and and our people finna walk right into the trap, just like the No Kings protest. Jake done linked themselves to that. Okay. You're linking yourself to all these different snares and traps. And Esau, he can't wait, okay, till you niggas start getting out of pocket, man. Okay? This Isaiah 2:11 said, "The lofty looks of man shall be humbled." Okay, and this going from the elites down, all right, to these niggas, the nigga woman, all lofty looks finna be brought low, but it's gonna begin with you 2/3, okay, being punished, man, because this is the judgment of the Lord is getting ready to come on 2/3, man. Okay, so we have to understand is we see Jake, what time Jake is on, man. Be wise, man. Okay, it says, "And the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For in the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty," man. You see, pride is finna be, all right, annihilated out of earth, man. Okay, and you see, Jake has a very proud look, like if like they got some type of power. If they stamps don't come, what you niggas gonna do, man? Okay, but go terrorize your local grocery stores, okay, and justify Esau treating you niggas like animals, man. You know, when he come through with that sword, okay, it says, "Upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low." Okay, so the Lord is finna address, this excess of pride that's in the earth on every level. From the least down, all right, to these straight niggas walking around, man. Okay, pride is going to be addressed, because this is a society where everyone is proud. All right, here it is. You're dependent on your enemy, but you're proud and entitled. You're fully dependent on your enemy. Okay, you see. So let's go here because how Shah warned us about snares. All right, let's get this in Luke. Then we get that in this is the book of Luke, chapter 21. All right, in verse 34. And it says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with some fighting and drunkenness and cares of this life, so that the day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth." Okay? So what's happening is a major snare. See, this is just one snare with the food stamp thing. Now, do you think, okay, that this devil allow these stamps not to come, all right, for months on time? All right. You think Jake not gonna be all right at the front line and taking the C hip to get those benefits back going? Because the overall snare is the C hip. And he wants to delete a lot of you niggas, you know, but he needs a few niggas in his system. Okay, he needs a few impoverished, all right, degenerate niggas in his system to keep, his system afloat. Because as long as he got, a batch of niggas that he can, make the tail of his society, it makes everyone else feel better. Okay. But for the most part, all right, you think Jake is not ready to take the C hip. Hey, you give 2 months, Jake will be ready to take the C hip by January, man. Because the nigga woman gonna be at the front of the line. When it's time for the C, when it's before the C hip is made mandatory, the nigga woman is gonna be at the front of the line. Okay, especially if it's loaded with these benefits. Okay, that's a guarantee. All right. So this is why the Howard Shah is telling us, take heed to ourselves, man. Make sure that we in the right spirit, man, and understand what's going on. Okay, this ain't the time, all right, to be partying and kicking it all the goddamn time, man. Or caught up in the cares of this life, man. We gotta be ready to let this shit go. Okay? We gotta be ready to let it all go on a whim, you know? Because things can change quickly, man. You know? We're just a few events of just from all out chaos and, turmoil, civil unrest, man. An event or two. And see, and especially if this thing stays shut down and these benefits don't come. Okay, Jake is gonna go in straight beast mode, man. Okay, it said, "For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the earth," man. So this devil, has a snare, okay, all throughout this society, man. What is the food stamps, the benefits, okay? Whether it's the AI, people are addicted to, the AI, which all leading to what the C hip, okay? So whether you're getting government assistance or you're, thriving, with this man's technology, okay, or whether you're just, in love, okay, with the new Roman Empire that's, do as thou wilt. Well, it's all a snare. Okay. Verse 36 says, watch you therefore and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and stand before the Son of Man. You see, because we, all right, have a vision beyond this. You see, our people, this is all that they see and know. Okay. Handouts from the devil. America up and running. This is all our people know. They don't have a vision beyond this, man. Okay. What the Lord has given us, okay, this wisdom, man, this understanding, all right, which we have a foresight, that's beyond, these current circumstances, man. Okay. So let's go from here. Let's get this because going back into the title of the lesson, all right, as the scriptures say, let's go here. Um, let's get that in Ephesians. All right. So we see, what Jake is on, man. Like we gotta move wisely, man. Because another element, let's go here, let's read this. All right, it says Ephesians 5 and 15, it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Now let's get this word wise, okay, in the Greek. Okay, I believe it go back to sophis. You get Sophia. All right. So in the Greek is sophis, okay, but it says wise, all right, it says skilled, okay, cultivated, learned. Now, when you jump down, all right, this is one of the main definitions. It says forming the best plans and using the best means for their execution. Forming the best plans and using the best means for their execution. Okay. So we in a time to where we have to peep what's going on and make adjustments, man. We know what Jake finna be on. Okay, if this continue. All right, a trip to the grocery store. All right, yeah, it could be a straight up riot, man. Okay, and we know how grimy Jake is, man. You best believe not only is Jake gonna be trying to just loot grocery stores, man, but they gonna get to the point to where they just staking out. All right, in grocery. All right, just snatching groceries from people. Okay, walking out. Okay. So if we knowing these things, we have to be wise. Ordering people ordering groceries on DoorDash, people saying that people are stealing groceries. Okay. They'll order their grocery, but they never show up because the people doing the DoorDash, they just taking the grocery, the orders for themselves. Okay, this ain't the time to be DoorDash and groceries, man. Okay, or whatever app, Walmart, Spark. This ain't that time. Then strangers have to come to your house. So we have to be smart in these times. You have to be wise. Okay. This ain't the time, to be going to the grocery store getting 2, 3 big grocery, baskets of groceries, man. Especially you women out there that's by yourself, man. That wouldn't be wise, man. And you women, just going in the grocery store and not being aware, not watching your surroundings, taking 2 days to get 2 goddamn items, man. Y'all can't be doing that shit, man. You gotta be wise, man. You gotta be strategic how you move. It'd be wise to go an extra 15, 20 minutes out to shop on the better side of town. Okay, and not be where niggas at, man. Because as we coming into different times, we're gonna have to be strategic in how we move, man. Okay, we don't have this wisdom to still move. It's simple, man. Okay, it'd be best to break your shopping down if you can. Instead of getting these big bulk. You move. Hey, you got. We're in a time where you got to move like a ninja, man. know how to get in and get out. Okay, you know how to get in, get what you gotta get out of there, man. Knowing when the busy times are, when people, niggas don't wake up early. Okay, you best to go early. Particular days, man. Hey, all these things have to be factored in because we're coming into different times, man. Okay, so going back into, all right, it says forming the best plans and using the best means for their execution. Okay, and another thing too, with brothers, I know, um, we see this happening, and it's like, yeah, Isaiah 4:1. But listen, brothers, don't crash out, okay, trying to be in a rush to fulfill Isaiah 4:1, man. All right, because a lot of these grimy nigga women gonna be in survival mode. Okay, so don't be blinded by lust. Okay, and in a rush to fulfill Isaiah 4:1, that you put yourself in a terrible situation, man. All right, dealing with Eve that's in survival mode, man. Okay, so don't lose your goddamn mind. Okay, as these women, okay, are vulnerable, desperate. Okay, you got to be mindful, man. Don't just think of this as you know a buffet. This the perfect opportunity, just a buffet. All right, have a buffet with women, man. Nah, be mindful, man. Okay, Isaiah 4:1 is for nation building, man. Not all right, just some horny shit. You just out here horny and Eve desperate. Okay, so don't be simple. Okay, and this woman acting like she humble and she's so into you now. Okay, don't be goddamn simple, man. Okay, and in the rush to try to fulfill Isaiah 4:1, you put yourself in a crazy ass situation, man. Okay, be wise, man. In this grace period, man, we should have built up discipline. Okay, to where we can keep the flesh in check, man. Okay, but this the worst time just to be out here operating in the flesh, man. Okay, because it's gonna be grimy. All right, now I got a couple more videos. Let's go here. Um, uh, so what these devils are doing is called pressure from above and pressure from below. Now, when you go into this term, it says the concept of pressure from above and pressure from below is a conspiracy theory tactic used to allege that a new world order is manipulating events to control humanity. Okay, and this is exactly what it is. And they make it seem like it's a bugged out theory. No, this is exactly what's happening. Okay, it said the core idea is that a shadowy elite orchestrate crisis, all right, from the top down, while also influencing populist movements from the bottom up to create a controlled social order. This conspiracy theory often incorporates anti-Semitic tropes and narratives because it's Amalek at the top that's doing this. Okay, it's Amalek, all right, that's controlling, the pressure from above. All right, these different policies. You think this government shutdown is just a random disagreement between the Republicans and Democrats? No. Okay, you gotta look at the timing of it, man. Okay, and look at the ripple effect that it's having. And this is what they want. Okay, so now what they can do, they done cause, they done made these decisions from above. Okay, the government shutdown. Okay, and now what they can do, they can stir up, they can have people to stir up civil unrest, okay, from the bottom, okay? And what does that do? That justifies them coming with their next phase of this new world order, man. All right, and they want to depopulate a lot of you jakes. Okay, it said conspiracy theories claim that a secret global cabal of elites operating through institutions and influential figures manufactures crises and manipulates events to advance their agenda of a total, all right, a totalitarian, all right, world government. And that's what they want, their technocracy, man. Okay, they want a complete technocracy, man, where everyone's controlled, okay, by this technology, man. You see how much control they got now, okay, to where everyone has what these cards, these EBT cards, hood, okay. So the push of a button, all right, your benefits don't come. Well, and this is the system they want everybody on, all right. And you Jakes are just nothing but a trial run, okay. What he what's happening? He using okay, you niggas as a trial run. All right. And there's other people that's on those benefits, but who's at the forefront of wilding out behind these benefits? Okay. And it says engineered disasters promotes, I said, proponents of the New World Order theory argue that events like the C-19 pandemic, economic downturns, and mass shootings are not natural occurrences, but are deliberately created or exploited by the elite to cause fear and justify the expansion, okay, of state control. These theories suggest that entities like the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, and central banks are merely fronts for the cabal. The secretive meetings of groups like the Bilderberg Group are also cited as evidence of an overarching, all right, conspiracy, man. And these devils, okay, the scriptures say, you know, it's in the power of their hands. Okay, they imagine wickedness in their beds, which is in their rest. You know, the scripture speak about the insurrection of the wicked. Okay, so they get together and they come up with these agendas. Okay, to what, man? To forward in the earth for their overall agenda, which is a new world order, man. Governed by technology. Said the mainstream media is often portrayed as a propaganda arm of the elite. Okay, because guess who's gonna run? Okay, if these niggas wild out, which a lot of Jake, this first month, November, okay, if they don't come, I could see a few incidents happening, but it'll take a few months for Jake to just go mayhem with nothing coming in, you know. But guess who's going to use this footage, okay, to justify? Because see, Trump still want to enact the Insurrection Act. He still want to activate that. Okay, but what does he need to activate the Insurrection Act? Civil unrest, man. Okay, and you niggas would be the perfect mascot, okay, to wild out. And that way everyone can blame you. Okay? Jake has no idea of the psyops that's constantly ran on them. Okay, he said the mainstream media is often, all right, portrayed as a propaganda arm of the elite used to control narratives and brainwash the public, man. And that's exactly what the media is for. Okay, that's why you have people caught up in this false left right paradigm. Okay, people are caught up, okay, into this narrative and that narrative, and Trump is a hero. They hate Trump, and you see, they call into all these different narratives. But who's putting these ideas in their head? Okay, it's the media. It says the pressure from below element of the theory asserts that populist or extremist movements are not genuine. Okay, the Black Lives Matter. Okay, all these different things, man. Okay, now you have the No Kings movement. These things are not genuine. Okay, the MAGA. Okay, all these things. Okay, have a foundation that's rooted. Okay, in the narrative. Okay, and the ideology that plays into the narrative of the elites, man. It says, but are secretly manipulated or created by the same elite to serve their larger purpose. The feminist movement, that wasn't a genuine movement. Okay. women's liberation, none of those things were genuine movement. The civil rights, okay, none of those things were a genuine movement, man. Okay, it was all controlled opposition, okay, to play into the narrative that the elites wanted. Okay, now let's go from there. We might come back to that. So because let's go here. Because these Edomites, are looking at you, Jake says, you're crying about the stamps. All right. And now they're looking at you as the problem. Okay. They're not looking at, the government, okay, and the wicked, okay, practices of the government. Okay. Blame is going to you. All right. So let's play this. He's going to touch on a few things, but you're going to see the sentiment that these devils have, all right, for you Jakes that have been on the internet boasting and these benefits at the expense of the taxpayers, man. Okay, and this is why no one's gonna feel sorry, all right, for the predicament you Israelites are gonna be in, man. You tribes, man. You know?
When I tell you that people are literally losing their mind over the fact that we could see a pause in food snaps or EBT assistance programs coming November 1st, they are saying that they're going to get out there and loot the streets. Some of them are saying that they're going to go house to house if the government does not give them their money to have free food. A lot of them are just concerned with how they're going to feed their family, but I can tell you that the Trump administration almost in no way will allow this to happen. They're already turning around to say that maybe we will see the Democrats come to the negotiating table this week. But let me tell you, if they do let this happen, if something pushes Donald Trump to go ahead and let food stamps go into a pause state, people are going to lose their mind. You will have riots in the streets. You will have massive amounts of looting. You will have people getting smoked out in public. This is because we have born and raised an entitled community to believe that this would never happen.
So who's he talking about? And Esau gonna always exaggerate when it comes to you Jakes, man. Okay. You see, he said because what we born and raised, bred and raised an entitled, a whole entire entitled community, man. Talking about you tribes, man. Okay. Not the fact that these Edomites are entitled, to Edomite privilege. Okay. These Edomites are bugging out because their privilege is dwindling. You see? But you're always going to be looked at as the problem. And you play right into the narrative, man. You Jakes play right into the narrative. Okay, as the problem. All right. And you niggas are a problem, and you niggas finna be dealt with. Okay, we just doing play-by-play commentary, man. All right. But you see the sentiment of these Edomites is that look, this whole snap thing, this not a crisis. It just shows that we bred an entitled community. Okay. So if these Edomites catch hell for some, if these Edomites begin to catch hell from inflation, okay, and you niggas are complaining about not getting your handouts, all right, now you're going to see this type of tension, okay, because it's going to be divisions everywhere, man. You're going to have these Edomite militias, okay, it's going, that's going to emerge in the midst of this, okay, and in the state of civil unrest, all right, you Israelites finna lose, man. Okay, everything's gonna be working against you. Federal troops, all right, so like different militias, you niggas gonna be working against each other. Okay, everything is gonna be working against you niggas, man. And this is a judgment of the Lord. Okay, so let's play this some more.
Things are about to get hard for us, so let's go ahead and watch some people freaking out.
Oh, great. A request for a new video. Now to rely on 1,000 people to get it done. Or you can just use Riverside and do it.
Why the fuck we gotta starve on Thanksgiving? Are you dead ass monkey man? It's like, yo, it's just like you gotta like. Why the fuck there's no EBT next month? Why the fuck November though? It couldn't be January, Feb, March.
All right, let's move forward. We've got some other people talking about it.
Widely protested president in U.S. history. In causes, in frequency, in political polarization, he holds the record hands down. No other president in U.S. history has brought this country to its knees in such short a span as Donald Trump had.
So I live in a 10-story apartment building and I only pay $50 in rent. Does that make you angry? Does that make you shiver in your boots? Does that make you want to punch me in my face? I pay $50 for a 2-bedroom for my family of 6.
Now watch this next part as she effed around with this video, and then she started to find out.
Does that make... So because of that video I made of my family of... my family of 7 living in a 2-bedroom apartment and me only paying $50, somebody on here was so miserable to go report me that now they gave me an eviction notice for 30 days. So now I need a lawyer.
You're not getting a lawyer. First of all, if you can afford a lawyer, you can afford to pay your freaking rent. Second of all, you were mocking the American people by saying, are you shivering in your boots because this person is only paying $50 a month for their rent, while you and me, we're paying what, $1,800, $2,200, $2,300 a month for rent or mortgage payments across this country? She deserves the figurative slap in the face that she got here. I hope that she gets blacklisted from all of these assistance programs because she was not a person in need. No, she was a person in greed.
Thanks to y'all taxpayers that are so mad that you're paying my $50 in rent for my 2-bedroom apartment for a family of 7. I don't know how y'all even found out where I live. It's a 10-story apartment building. Y'all found out.
Seems to me like maybe the legs and the mouth should stay shut on this woman. All right, let's move on forward. We have Donald Trump signing a...
Yeah, so, that's the sentiment these Edomites have about it, and and in so many ways that the devil, can flip it. All right, because he can allow these stamps, these benefits to stay off, and Jake just turn to straight animals out here. Okay, or he can bail them niggas out, get things back going, and you Edomites, still suffering that's working. And you can cause that tension, man. So it's a few ways, the devil can spin it, so we're gonna watch, all right, and see how. But we know one thing, that this is all manufactured, okay, and that they're doing this to cause a reaction from below. They're doing all these things up top to get a reaction, okay, from below. So let's go from there. Let's see, I had something else. Oh yeah, so this is from I guess the Jake landlords. Okay, they have hood housing. So they now, this just from their perspective, from the people that rent out, to hood, certain things that they're going through. All right, so let's play this.
You're inheriting somebody's control. I don't want to be controlled by nobody. Wake up, people. We gotta wake up.
Put one foot in front of the other and really fucking level up. It's Sunday. I'm rocking. We won. I'm happy. Can't complain. But
We have to address
unfortunately,
the elephant in the room.
It is day 18. Day 18.
18 days.
And we still have no payment from our Section 8 tenants. This is getting out of hand.
Beyond.
This is really, really getting out of hand. At the end of the day, I don't know what's going on with the government shutdown. We are really not into politics. We don't understand if it's a Democrat problem, it's a Republican problem. But all I know is we haven't got paid from Section 8.
Yep.
We have our tenants still staying in our properties. The communication is a little off. We've been reaching out to certain tenants.
Yep.
You know, they want to answer what they want to answer. We don't understand what's going on. We're trying to be understanding and we're trying to stay patient and we're trying to make it through this storm. We've been through many different facets in real estate as far as dealing with, you know, certain ups and downs, certain maintenance issues, holding on to a property for so long, not having a tenant in place, having to come out of pocket. But we never thought that we would be in a situation where Section 8 does not pay.
No, I could have never foreseen this in a million years. This is a crucial time, and it's hard for everyone. I don't care who you are. It's hard on everyone right now. Like he said, you know, the communication's been up and down. Us and the tenants, emotions are high right now. No one knows what's going to happen. It's been 18 days.
Yeah, this is getting out of hand. This is really getting out of hand.
And I would love to say it's getting better, but it's not.
It's not.
It's
definitely
getting
not.
worse.
Yeah. And I didn't think that the government shutdown for one would even take this long.
No.
I'm thinking this is a 2-day event, 3-day event. I don't know if the government, Trump, you guys don't have no answers. DC, something has to happen. This is really, really getting bad now. Right now, the banks are still waiting on us to make payments. They say we have like a grace period after the 15th. They still waiting on those payments. If they don't pay, what happens by the end of the month?
I'm not sure. And as of yesterday, we got word that the government is no longer funding SNAP benefits.
Yes.
So this
crazy.
is mind blowing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is mind blowing.
People gotta eat. People got children. People got kids. I'm confused at that.
Exactly.
It's like they have to pick.
You have to choose in this day and age.
Yeah, it's like, do we have food snaps or do we have payment for housing? At the end of the day, right now,
you need both.
You need both. That's essential. People have to have a roof over their head. People have to eat. People in these situations, obviously, it's unfortunate. Every situation is, you know, individual based and stuff like that. We don't know people's stories and stuff like that. But at the same time, they already took away the payments to the landlords, and now they're taking away from SNAP from the actual people. So
and
they
it's
don't have
right
money to pay their rent.
Thanksgiving.
And it's right before Thanksgiving, the holidays.
How cruel
This doesn't
can
make
you
no
be?
sense. Yeah, the government.
The cruel Lord. All right. DJ Trump, the cruel Lord. Okay, you've been hearing that word cruel. Okay, thrown around a lot. Okay.
This is cutthroat. This is just straight cutthroat. And
it's a very tricky place.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as investors, this government shutdown is really, really affecting us, and it's really getting out of control. It's so weird because the comments are saying so many different things, and we're getting all these mixed reviews. All we know is that this is our real life. This is the real situation we in. As far as the governmental stuff, we have no control over that. No. So that's not our problem. Exactly. We are boots on the ground. We are in a situation where we have investment properties, where we try to help out the affordable housing crisis in the United States, put our properties on assisted living programs to be able to help other people who are in an affordable housing crisis. So for us playing our part as people and trying to get back in that way, how are we suffering from that? How we have to feel the brink of that? Like, we trying to help.
Well,
trusting in Egypt. Okay, and let's go here. So on both sides of the spectrum, you know, whether you're an investor into this, you know, housing market, okay, or whether you're dependent on, all right, the housing market, you know, the affordable housing market. Okay, you're getting ready to lose, man. Everybody's finna lose, man. Okay, from the top elite bankers, okay, to the middle class, all right, to, you know, the government assistant, okay, participants or whatever. All right, everybody finna lose. Okay, now this is why you go here, you know, because they all depend on Egypt, you know. So whether you're on the investment side, all right, or you on the recipient side, okay, you're still getting ready to lose, you know, because it's just a trust in Egypt, and Jake can't figure it out. And the scriptures say that. Okay, when you go here, Isaiah 31 said, "Woe to rebellious children," said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with the covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Okay, because our people are invested, okay, in the sinful culture, okay, a sinful society, which is America. All right, and America's in complete rebellion to righteousness of the scriptures. America's in complete rebellion to Yahweh Bashem Shai. So whether our people, they try to go and be these investors and entrepreneurs, because later on in that video they go to talking about generational wealth. Well, the Lord didn't put us here for generational wealth. Okay, we was here, all right, to serve out the punishment, man. Okay, and use this grace period to come back to our power. Okay, and the Lord, he would take care of us in that grace period, and we still, have to go get our daily bread. All right, whatever that means is different for everybody, but trying to put your spirit into this place, investing in this place. Okay, having your mind that you're going to be covered, because Jake think they're going to be covered, by going and securing the bag, as they say. Okay, well, they're still in rebellion to Yahweh Bashem Shai. Okay, it says they walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked in my mouth, which is the prophets, man. Okay, the prophets have been warning about these things for decades now, telling you people, this ain't your rest. Okay, do what you got to do. You got to get your daily bread. Okay, you can't neglect your obligations. Okay, but whether you're, trying to invest in this place, or you're just completely dependent on this place as a recipient of benefits, okay, well, you should have asked by the mouth of the prophets, man. You should have known, okay, that this grace period was the time for us, to come into good standards with our power, man. Okay, but our people they trust in this man more than ever. Okay, it says to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. All right, and for the longest, America economy, has been thriving. Okay, this capitalist system, which ultimately benefits the elites more than anything. The super rich at the top. All right, but you had, you was able to make a few moves and start a few things, and people was able to build, little empires, and which that's gone now. Because everything, people are being priced out of everything now. To start a business, well, that people are getting priced out. If you don't already have a bunch of capital, it's damn near impossible, to start a thriving business. But there was a time where you can, start off with one, a lawnmower, all right, and build a lawn empire, a landscaping empire. You can start off with one, delivery van and end up with a fleet. Okay, well, them days are gone. All right, and people, all right, trusted in the strength of Pharaoh. Okay, which is this American system. Okay, this American economy. All right, or just the American benefits, because American, they could afford to just, you know, dish out, okay, all this, free food and, cheap housing, okay, and people have made this their trust on both spectrums. It says that to trust in the shadow, okay, of Egypt, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, okay, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion, okay, and this man, you could tell he was confused. Let's run it back, man. Look at Jake, okay. Listen to Jake, man. He's confused. He's like, we trying to help people in affordable housing, man. We trusting in Egypt. You see, because there's nothing wrong. I say, if you brother or sister, you got, your business and you got things going, all right. But when you trust in it, see, he's confused because he's thinking, well, I'm doing a good thing. I'm trying to help my people. We got this, and I'm investing in this, man. But this ain't your rest. Okay, then you're dealing with the devil. Okay, you can't trust this nigga in nothing that he does. Okay.
Weird because the comments are saying so many different things and we getting all these mixed reviews. All we know is that this is our real life. This is the real situation we in. As far as the governmental stuff, we have no control over it. So that's not our problem. We are boots on the ground. We are in a situation where we have investment properties where we try to help out the affordable housing crisis in the United States, put our properties on assisted living programs to be able to help other people who are in an affordable housing crisis. So for us playing our part as people and trying to get back in that way, how are we suffering from that? How we have to feel the brink of that? Like we trying to help.
Well,
Yeah, so the trust in Egypt shall be your confusion. Okay, we're watching this real time. Okay, the trust in Egypt. Okay, is your confusion. All right, so let's get this. Well, then the brother got some too. The brother Azaria. All right, this is the brother Azaria. Chill messing the truth. Orlando, the beloved brother Azaria. Shalom, Maki, Abashim Afshai. Bashim Kakudash Prakata. This is on Proverbs 25 and 19. It says, confidence in the unfaithful man in the time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. Okay? And now people are going to learn the hard way that trusting Esau, okay, was the worst decision they can make. And it's leading them to, all right, the wrath, okay, the full wrath of the Lord, because our people that do survive, the tribulation, the missile's going to top off that tribulation, and trusting in Esau, okay, because if you get the sea hip, well, this sea hip is only going to keep you alive for the missile, okay, and even in the sea hip, man, the Lord, so cold, man, I can see people getting that sea hip to eat again, and they still starve, okay, because the devil ain't right, man, okay, his system is flawed, okay, the system is geared towards hatred towards you, okay, and you continue to try to lean on it, and you lose, okay, who will pity him, all right, that's bitten, who will pity the charmer that's bitten by the snake, man, roughly paraphrasing, man. Jeremiah 17:5, this is brother um Azaria again. Jeremiah 17:5, thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man and make it flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Okay, because you can tell that nigga there, man, that goofy nigga. Okay, you Jakes, you too old to be goofy as you are. All right, all this nigga want to do is watch. All right, the football games. Okay, be a yes man to his goddamn woman. Okay, and then you see, eat hot plates in America. That's all that nigga will be content with America thriving forever. Okay, you're a nigga with a cheese head and a big ass, Green Bay Packer chain. Okay, that nigga would be fully content with America. All right, going on forever, man. Long as he can pass that down to his son. A Packers fan, tailgate. That nigga, that Jake would do that forever. Okay, Jake has fully accepted being a slave in this man's system, man. Whether you're a privileged slave, with your own thing going, or whether you're just a fully dependent slave, all right, on this man's handouts. Okay, Jake is fully comfortable with being a slave, and that's why the Lord just has an end 2/3, man. Okay, because they would never snap out of it. You see, so going back, all right. Let's go here. This is Isaiah 30:7 says, "For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still, man." Okay. So the Lord got it to where, because you go back into this history, the Egyptians were supposed to help Jake. They were supposed to assist. They were supposed to be allies to Jake. you know, and I believe it was the Syrians at this time. Okay, I might have to fact check it later on, but I went into it when I was going into the book of First and Second Kings. All right, but Jake was dependent on the uh, the Egyptians as a military alliance, but the Lord had it to where the Egyptians didn't show up. Okay, and then the little help they did try to provide, all right, the Egyptians got overcome militarily. You see, just like today, all right, the Esau is gonna come to a point now. Whether he jump in and bail niggas out, and all you niggas gonna do, Trump bail you niggas out, you're gonna look at this nigga like a hero. You're not gonna give any reverence to Yahweh Shem Shai. You're gonna look at Trump as some type of hero. Okay, and you niggas just gonna become more proud than ever, man. You know? So we brace for either way. We hope that they keep this thing going and it never comes back. And it just spirals into you niggas suffering, man. Okay? We hope it never comes back. All right? But we have to prepare for, you know, Esau to bail these niggas out and get these niggas more dependent on him. Okay? And these niggas to be all over the internet. Okay? And niggas gonna buy, niggas gonna go crazy. They get them benefits before these wicked holidays, man. But Lord willing, this be the worst Thanksgiving you niggas have ever had, and Christmas that you niggas have ever had in your life, man. That'd be stupendous. But if not, hey, you just gotta wait. It's coming. Eventually, it's gonna come. Eventually, it's gonna come when the government not gonna intervene and just let this shit go to shit. Let all of it just go to shit, man, and just let the ripple effect, okay, run its course, man. Okay, that'd be ideal, man. So um, yeah, let me see, let me do a quick fact check. I had just went over it. Let me see, is Isaiah. All right, but at the end of the day, Jake was trusting in Egypt. And just like today, American military and their economy is finna fail. Okay. Their military and their economy is finna fail. All right. Let me see. Just a quick fact check. I looked it up. Yeah, okay, come just real quick. So quick AI overview said the backdrop to Isaiah 37 is the people of Judah's decision to seek military alliance with Egypt against the Assyrian threat rather than trusting in the Most High. The prophet Isaiah condemns this action, calling Egypt, all right, a Rahab who sits still because because its help is futile and powerless, a reflection of the biblical theme that true security comes from the Most High alone and not from political alliances. Okay, so the Southern Kingdom, right, trying to make an alliance with the Egyptians, okay, against the Assyrians, okay, and it failed. you know, the Egyptians did the Egyptians didn't come through. And eventually, like I say, Esau, all right, the new Egypt not gonna come through for you niggas, man. It's gonna fail militarily and economically. Okay, so yeah, let's keep reading. You know, it's Isaiah 30:8. It says, "Now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for a time to come, forever and ever." So we have a record. Okay, and this is one of the indicators that we know. All right, that we're the Israelites, man. Okay, because there's no people that's more rebellious to their own power than Israel. Okay, there's rebellious to the prophets. Okay, there's no one that's more rebellious than our people. So we have this record, all right, and you read this and you look out at the behavior of our people, and it's like there's no doubt that this is them. Okay, this is their rebellious, stiff-necked people whom the Lord and proud and entitled. You know, going back to Deuteronomy, I believe 32, Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Okay, speaking of Israel being in their abundance, and they this is nothing new. What Jake is on, being entitled, okay, proud. This is nothing new. You know, Jake did this, and we did this in our sovereignty, man. Okay, Isaiah 39 said that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that would not hear the law of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shah, would say to the seers, all right, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Okay, and this generation is back. Okay, and Jake don't want to hear about, the prophecy concerning America being destroyed. Okay, the throne of David being established. All right, because Jake don't want anything to do with the righteousness of the scriptures. Okay, Jake is in full agreement with this current society. Do as thou wilt, feminism, nigger culture. I can go be an entrepreneur. I can do this. I can, I can wear the cheese head. You see, that's what niggas want. Okay, niggas would be content with Super Bowl 3,000. Man, niggas would be content 3,000 Super Bowls later. Okay, Rotel. See, nigga, that's all. That's what a nigga mind, all right, has been reduced to. Okay, the bossy nigga woman, all right, the Rotel, all right, and the Miller Lite, and the nigga will be content for the next 3,000 Super Bowls, man. Okay, whether it's they have their own business going, all right, or they're getting straight handouts, a nigga will be content either way. You see, they want to keep hearing smooth things of the continuation of America and some type of hope for black people. That's why a nigga can always come, bro. Yep. But that's why a nigga, okay, will always be content. Okay, when someone pops up and has this message for some type of hope for black people, nigga will always accept that message because it's smooth things, man. Nah, it's over. All right, and the Lord not dealing with black people. He dealing with, all right, his people that have repented. Okay, because we was once considered, black and African American, all these things. But nah, man, now we repented to who we truly are, man. The sons of God, Israelites, man, sons and daughters of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Okay, it says, "Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore, thus said the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon." And this is what the people trust in. You Jakes have gotten so comfortable that you just trusted your devil, this devil, to just fill your card up with all these benefits, okay, every month, forever. You just suspected that your rent was gonna be $28 forever. Okay? You just lean into that. You ain't make no plans. You niggas go on vacations. You niggas buy designer. Okay? You niggas do all this madness, man. No even thought of trying to, okay, well, let this be a stepping stone. Let me try to, do something else and not just depend on this. Like, nah, Jake, pass that down. You got third, fourth generation Section 8. Okay, government assistance, man. Okay, so Jake has gotten that goddamn comfortable, man. They trust in this shit. Okay, not knowing that. Okay, damn, not thinking that. What if America lose a war? You know, you see what you know. What if these devils just switch it up and they cancel this shit? Okay, this is how comfortable Jake has gotten. You know, it said, therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. Okay, and it's gonna be at an instant, man, because even this happened quick. Things was all good just a week ago. Okay, now them text message been coming through about the deposit ain't coming for November. Okay, now niggas at attention. You see? And it's gonna be more things that happen it's gonna hit this place instantly, man. Okay? Well, people trusting in this place is gonna be a hard fall because when you're leaning on something and it falls, okay, you're trusting your weight on something and it collapse on you, man. Okay, it's gonna be a hard fall. And this is what Jake has done. They trusted, okay, in this system of their enemy, and they've leaned on it, and then when he snatches this thing away, it's gonna be a hard fall, man. That's why I say verse 14, and he shall break it as the breaking of potter's vessels, that it is broken in pieces. And see, the Lord is is breaking up this system, man. Okay, so the Lord is going to take away the benefits and the economy itself. So whether you're on government assistance or you just have your mindset on the American dollar, being away. Okay, well the Lord is breaking up all this, man. Okay, it says he shall not spare. Yeah, so no matter if you're middle class, upper middle class, okay, even the rich, certain millionaires from the suffer, man, is not in that circle. Okay, so that there shall not be found in it bursting of it, all right, in the bursting of it, a shred to take fire from the hearth or to take water without out of a pit. So the Lord's gonna break this thing up into many pieces, man. He's gonna shatter this whole system. Because if you let's say you break a bowl, where it might be one piece that you still can kind of scoop water out of or put something in, even though it's broken. Okay. But the Lord is saying, nah, I'm gonna break this shit up into fine pieces, man, that you're not even gonna be able to use a portion of it, man. Talking about this whole system, man. Okay, not gonna be you're not the benefits not gonna come. The dollar gonna be irrelevant. Okay, your assets gonna be irrelevant. You're not gonna be able to use anything. The Lord just gonna completely break up this whole system, man. Okay, and it's the point, verse 15. For thus said the Lord power, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest shall you be saved, in quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not, man. So the prophet's been begging Jake. Okay. That's one thing no one can say that the Lord hasn't warned Jake continually, man. In returning, which is repent and rest, shall you be saved? Because we at rest, man. While these people are bugging out about what's their next move, man, we at rest, man. Because this is prophecy being fulfilled. And we have the comforter, man. You see, Esau can't shut down the comforter, man. He can shut down food stamps. He can shut down, this economy, the dollar system, but he can't shut down the comforter, man. Okay? And this is what we've been blessed with. You see? It said in quietness and in confidence. See, we don't have to be on the internet wilding out saying what we're gonna do if this don't happen. You see, we just watching this thing play out. Okay? And it's finna get interesting, man. You see? It says in confidence, and our confidence comes from what? All right. Our faith. I trust in our power. Us being able to hear this word mixed with faith, that's our confidence, man, that He is. Okay? It's a light work for us to be taken care of, man, because we all affected in different ways by what's happening. But we have a confidence in He is. Okay? And ultimately, He's going to send Yahweh Shai to deliver. Okay? In the midst of all this, man, it says, in quietness and confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not, man. So the masses of our people, they refuse to make the Lord their rest, man. They wanted to continue on, all right, to trust in Egypt. Okay, and Egypt is going to be a major, all right, disappointment, man. Yep, and like the brother said, they did the same thing, with Babylon, the southern kingdom. They tried to trust in Egypt, all right, and the Lord had, all right, Nebuchadnezzar run through Egypt. So you had Jakes taking refuge in Egypt, thinking they was getting away, from Babylon, and the Lord sent Babylon on Egypt with niggas in it. Okay. So nah, man, the Lord, all right, and He has a lot of things working against Jake, man. Jake is finna lose. Everybody finna lose, from the least. All right, like I say, to a nigga freaking the black and mild, all right, is finna lose. Okay. And the victory is for the elect. So Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified, once again, and give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the whole elect. Shalom.